بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا وسيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. سلمة رضي الله تعالى عنها, she said that she once asked the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam a question, and she said to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, "Ya Rasulullah, فهل على المرأة من غسل إذا هي احتلمت?" Is it upon a woman to make ghusl if she has a wet dream? Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha was sitting next to her, or was sitting with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And then Aisha, she became extremely shy, and the riwayah states that she put her khimar on her face and she said, "Laqad fadahtina." You have exposed us, to Salama. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, she was saying this in a joking way basically. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he responded by saying, "Inna Allah la yastahi min al-haq." Indeed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, la yastahi min al-haq, is not modest or is not shy to say or to speak the truth. Na'am idha ra'at al-ma'. Yes, she has to make ghusl if she sees water. If there's a discharge, she has to make ghusl. So what do we understand from this hadith? Is that although some of the issues that we're talking about, some of these issues may be, it may be uncomfortable to discuss them in a public place such as this, and it may be uncomfortable to discuss these issues, or if you have a particular question to ask about these issues, but know that this is the haqq and this is the truth. If you're asking the question just to understand your religion and to basically seek knowledge, then inshallah ta'ala, then there is nothing wrong with asking such questions, inshallah. So we will continue with the book, inshallah. We reached وصلنا إلى الشرط الثامن, the eighth condition from the conditions of the Salah. نعم. تفضل. تعالوا هنا، اجلسوا هنا أفضل. اجلسوا هنا حتى يسمعون، ما أحد يسمع.
الشرط الثامن استقبال القبلة، والدليل قوله تعالى: قد نرى تقلب وجهك في السماء فلنولينك قبلة ترضاها فول وجهك شطر المسجد الحرام وحيثما كنتم فولوا وجوهكم شطرا.
Now, so in this shart, the eighth condition is istiqbal al-qibla, is facing the qibla. And the scholars rahimahumullah ta'ala, they say facing the qibla, the actual Kaaba itself is wajib upon the person who can actually see the Kaaba. As for those people who cannot see the Kaaba but know the direction of the Kaaba, then it is obligatory upon them to face the direction of Mecca. For those people who are outside of Mecca, to face the direction of Mecca or the Qibla, generally speaking. And then he cited the evidence in Surah Al-Baqarah, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, "قَدْ نَرَى تَقَلُّبَ وَجْهِكَ فِي السَّمَاءِ." Oh Muhammad, we can see your face turning towards the sky, the heavens. We can see your face looking at the heavens. فَلَنُوَلِّيَنَّكَ قِبْلَةً تَرْضَاهَا. We will make you face a qibla that you are pleased with, or you wish, the one that you are seeking. فَوَلِّ وَجْهَكَ شَطَرَ الْمَسْجِدِ الْحَرَامِ. So turn your face towards the direction of Al-Masjid al-Haram. وَحَيْثُمَا كُنْتُمْ, and wherever you may be, فَوَلُّوا وُجُوهَكُمْ شَطَرَ. Wherever you may be, so face or turn your faces towards its general direction. طيب. So this is proof. So فَوَلِّ وَجْهَكَ شَطَرَ الْمَسْجِدِ الْحَرَامِ وَحَيْثُمَا كُنْتُمْ فَوَلُّوا وُجُوهَكُمْ شَطَرَ. So this is evidence and proof that if a person wants his salah to be accepted, then that person must face the qibla. It is a shart min shuruti as-salah. So what happens if a person does not know where the qibla is? Say for example, you come to a place and you do not know where the qibla is. And the scholars, they say that you tataharra as-sawab. You try and use any instruments that you have. If you have a compass, If you have a phone, for example, that has a compass in it, you try your best to find the direction of the Qibla. And then you, based on your judgment, based on that judgment, you face where you think the Qibla is. And then even afterwards, if it so happens that the Qibla was in another direction to the direction that you were facing, then you don't have to repeat that salah again. And the proof of this is the fi'l of the companions of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because some of them, in a very dark night, they wanted to pray and they differed as to the direction of the Kaaba. So each of them prayed according to where he thought the Kaaba was. And in the morning they found out that some of them had prayed to the wrong direction, or towards the wrong direction. They asked the Prophet ﷺ, and the Prophet did not order them to repeat the salah again. So this is very, very important. But if a person intentionally faces other than the Qibla, then this person's salah is nullified. If a person starts to pray and they are facing other than the Qibla, and then while they are praying they find out that they are praying in a direction that is not the Qibla or the Kaaba, then they are allowed, they don't have to leave the salah and repeat it again. No, they are allowed to basically reposition themselves so that they are facing the Qibla. They are allowed to move or to their bodies in order to face the Qibla. And if you yourself see this happening, if you see someone facing other than the Qibla, then you can basically direct the person towards the Qibla. وَلَيْسَ فِي هَذَا شَيْءٍ. طيب. So the question now is, why didn't the fuqaha say istiqbalul Kaaba? Why did they say istiqbalul Qibla? The reason they did not say istiqbalul Kaaba is so that the lafz Qibla is more general. If it was said istiqbalul Kaaba, it would have been impossible for the majority of the Muslims. Facing the Kaaba, it would have been impossible for anyone except the person who can actually see the Kaaba. So this is why they said istiqbalul Qibla instead of istiqbalul Kaaba. نعم تفضل.
أحسن الله إليك. الشرط التاسع النية ومحلها القلب والتلفظ بها بدعة والدليل حديث إنما الأعمال بالنيات وإنما لكل امرئ ما نوى.
طيب. And then the Shaykh rahimahullah ta'ala mentions الشرط التاسع, number 9. He says الشرط is it الشرط التاسع؟ نعم الشرط التاسع. نعم الشرط التاسع, number 9, النية, the intention. And then he says ومحلها القلب, and its place, the intention happens in the heart. والتلفظ بها بدعة, and stating or uttering or pronouncing the intention is considered to be bid'ah. What does he mean? He means if you, for example, say نويت مثلا أن أصلي الظهر 4 ركعات, I make the intention to pray dhuhr 4 ركعات, and then you add في مسجد قباء في مدينة ليستر في قارة أوروبا في بريطانيا. يعني all of these things are things that are considered to be bid'ah. So the intention happens in the niyyah. And as for those who say, what about the Hajj? When a person says, Labbaik Allahumma Hajj or Labbaik Allahumma Umrah, this isn't the intention. This is a mansak min manasik al-Hajj. It is one of the types of ibadat or worships that is stipulated for a person when that person wishes to make Hajj or when that person wishes to make Umrah. And then the dalil is, he says, الحديث الذي رواه عمر قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إنما الأعمال بالنيات وإنما لكل امرئ ما نوى. So the niyyah is the niyyah to salati, the niyyah of the prayer. The scholars, they say تشتمل على أمور ثلاثة, encompasses 3 things. The first is the intention نية أدائها تقربا إلى الله, to have the intention of performing the prayer in order to come close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with. So this is part of the intention. So you have the intention to do to perform this prayer in order to come close to Allah. Number 2 to have the intention of specifying what salah you are praying. Are you praying dhuhr or are you praying asr? So your intention must specify the salah that you are praying. And number three, to specify the intention of the situation in which you are in while you are praying. Are you an imam or are you a ma'moom? Are you one who is leading the prayer or are you the one who is being led? Or are you praying individually? So this is the three things that are wajib upon you to have the intention for while you are praying. So say for example a person, regarding the intention, say for example a person enters the masjid after Asr and they had been traveling and they did not pray Dhuhr. And they come into the masjid and the imam is praying Asr. When you say Allahu Akbar, this person must make the intention of Dhuhr. Okay? And the imam has the intention of Asr, but you have to make the intention of Dhuhr. So you make the intention of Dhuhr, and your prayer, inshallah ta'ala, even though the imam is praying Asr, is considered to be Dhuhr. And then after you finish with the imam, and the imam finishes and you finish your prayer, then you pray on your own Salatul Asr again. What if, for example, someone enters the masjid after Salatul Maghrib? The imam is praying, the imam is praying Salatul Isha, and this person has not prayed Salatul Maghrib, and this person enters the masjid. So this person hasn't prayed Salatul Maghrib for a number of reasons. Maybe he didn't pray Maghrib because he was traveling. Maybe he just woke up. Maybe he just remembered. But anyhow, he did not pray Maghrib. This is the end result. What does this person do? And it's time for Isha. The imam is saying Allahu Akbar for Salatul Isha. What does this person do? Nah.
He joins, I can't remember, I think he either sits in the third and waits for the imam to catch up.
So he sits for the third.
And then he remains sitting, and I think, and then when the imam comes and finishes his fourth rakah, finishes with him.
Okay, that's one opinion. Any other opinions? Nah. ينتهي بثلاث ركعات يعني يصلي ثلاث ركعات ويسلم بعد الثالثة. طيب وماذا يفعل بعد ذلك؟ ينصرف? Okay, so the second opinion the brother said is he just prays 3 rak'ats with the imam, and then he makes taslim, and that's it. That's his salah finished. نعم. Who had their hand up? Yeah. You do the Isha salah first, and then you pray Maghrib. Okay, any other opinions?
Would it be the same what you just said? Do the intention of that salah and then just pray again?
Sorry?
I'm only asking, I'm not saying.
No, I'm asking now. You can ask later. You have to give an opinion, akhi.
What you just explained a second ago about the intention of the guy praying Dhuhr in Asr.
Okay?
It's the same thing.
No, I'll explain inshallah ta'ala now. طيب, so, نعم. You pray Maghrib and you pray Isha. Okay. So khair inshallah. طيب. So you have the scholars rahimahumullah ta'ala say, so have we pictured the mas'ala first before I even go on and explain it? What are we talking about? Does anyone know what we're talking about? ما هي المسألة؟ نعم. Who wants to explain what the issue? تفضل.
There's a traveller who joins the Jama'ah when they're praying Isha, but he hasn't prayed Maghrib. Now he needs to pray Maghrib, which is 3 rak'ah, but Isha is 4 rak'ah.
4 rak'ah. Okay, that's good. This is the mas'ala. I'm going to give you a qa'idah and a principle. The scholars, they say it is impermissible. Generally speaking, the general rule or principle is it is impermissible for a person, for a ma'moom. Do you all know what ma'moom is? Ma'moom is the one who is praying behind the imam, the one that is being led. It is impermissible for a ma'moom to contradict the imam, to differ with the imam, to oppose the imam. So he or she must follow the actions of the imam. And the Prophet ﷺ, the proof of this is the hadith of the Prophet, إِنَّمَا جُعِلَ الْإِمَامُ لِيُؤْتَمَّ بِهِ فَلَا تَخْتَلِفُوا عَلَيْهِ. Indeed, the imam has been placed in front of you so that you may follow him. So فَلَا تَخْتَلِفُوا عَلَيْهِ. Do not oppose the imam. Okay, do not oppose or do not contradict the imam. And the Prophet ﷺ went as far as saying, whoever lifts his head, الذي يرفع رأسه قبل الإمام أو يركع قبل الإمام يعني يحول الله رأسه رأس حمار أو كما قال صلى الله عليه وسلم. Whoever lifts his head before the imam or makes sujood, for example, before the imam, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will change his head into the head of a donkey. So it's impermissible to oppose. This is the qa'idah. So based on this person now, if he prays with the Imam Salatul Isha, okay, although he hasn't prayed Salatul Maghrib, is he allowed to do this? The answer is no, he's not allowed to do. He cannot make the intention of Salatul Maghrib, basically, and then basically oppose the Imam. Also, another qa'idah or principle is that at-tartibu fi salawati wajiba. Tartib, or praying the salawat in their order, is also considered to be wajib or obligatory. So for example, if you haven't prayed dhuhr, you cannot pray asr before dhuhr, you cannot pray maghrib before asr, you cannot pray isha before you've prayed maghrib. So you have to pray the salawat in their order of preference. Now, based on the first qa'idah that I said, the scholars rahimahumullah ta'ala differed as to what this person has to do, because the person, he has to pray. Okay, we cannot tell him not to pray. Some scholars have said, let him not enter the masjid at all. Let him pray outside the masjid, Salatul Maghrib, and then let him come into the masjid and pray Isha with the Imam. Whatever he can pray, let him pray. Some scholars have said that he should pray alone in the masjid, go to a corner of the masjid and he should pray alone. However, this contradicts the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, where he prohibited 2 jama'ats from happening in one masjid. Okay? Others, they've said, they gave an opinion, and Shaykh Ibn Uthaymeen rahimahullah ta'ala says that this opinion is wallahu a'lam the stronger of the opinions, and it reconciles between more than one opinion. He says he can enter the salah with the intention of Maghrib, and after he reaches the 3rd rak'ah and the Imam gets up for the 4th rak'ah of Isha, this person should remain seated and wait for the Imam to basically come, and he or she should wait for the Imam to reach at-tashahhud al-akhir, the final tashahhud, and then when the Imam makes taslim, he should make taslim with the Imam. Okay, so that way his mukhalafa of the Imam, although there is a mukhalafa, but this mukhalafa, although it is sinful to contradict the Imam, there is some sort of contradiction, but this contradiction is ma'foon anhu. The ithim, the sin is lifted or removed because of a necessity. Because of the necessity, which is the fact that he has to sit. If he gets up, then he hasn't prayed Maghrib, he's prayed Isha. He has added a rak'ah to Isha. Okay, so this is one opinion. The next opinion is to say, or what he could do, they say, is he could pray Salah 3 rak'ats. Okay, he could pray 3 rak'ats, and then after he gets to the 3rd rak'ah, and the Imam is in the 4th rak'ah, he can make taslim. He can do the tashahhud and say, Assalamu alaikum, leave Salatul Maghrib. He's finished praying Salatul Maghrib, and then he gets up and he prays and he says, Allahu Akbar, and he prays with the Imam Salatul Isha. So that way, he gets the ajr of praying 2 jama'ah at the same time with one Imam. Do you understand? So this is like one of the riddles in fiqh. If someone says to you, is it possible for a ma'moom, the one that is being led, to be able to pray jama'atain, 2 jama'ahs, with one imam at the same time? What will your answer be? What's your answer going to be? Yes. And yes, it is in the case of the traveler who comes late, who comes to a masjid, who hasn't prayed Maghrib and comes to a masjid where the imam is praying Salatul Isha. And then you describe the situation that I've just mentioned. Is that understood? Any questions? هل من سؤال؟ نعم. Dhuhr and Asr is, because Dhuhr and Asr are both how many rak'ats? 4. Then there's no contradiction there. So if you haven't prayed Asr and you've come, or the Imam is praying Asr and you haven't prayed Dhuhr, and the Imam, you basically pray with the Imam by having the intention of Dhuhr, although the Imam has the intention of Asr. So there's nothing wrong with it. Naam.
That which was mentioned in terms of the requirement for wudu,
Naam.
to say Bismillah, that being wajib, what's done in cases where, in this country, where the toilet and the sink is in the same?
Yeah, Al-Imam Ahmad rahimahullah ta'ala, he said regarding this mas'ala, he said that, basically, if for example you're making wudu in a toilet and you cannot mention the name of Allah because it's impermissible to mention the name of Allah, he said you can either leave or you can say Bismillah before you actually enter the toilet. So because you know you're going to be saying Bismillah, so you say Bismillah, or you say Bismillah in your heart. That's two way. Or when you start making wudu, you leave the toilet, you say Bismillah, and then you come back into the toilet, and then you make your wudu then. Okay, so you've got all of these options, inshallah. طيب. نعم. عندك سؤال؟ نعم أخي. جهة مكة. إذا كنت مسافر يعني وكنت تعلم جهة القبلة أو كنت تجهل جهة القبلة. إذا كنت تجهل جهة القبلة فعليك أن تتحرى الصواب. عليك أن تتحرى الصواب، عليك أن يعني تحاول أن يعني تحدد القبلة من يعني مثلا آلة أو من بعض الآلات التي عندك وتصلي على يعني على حالك. طيب. So the brother is saying if you're a traveler and you're basically you don't know where the Qibla is, and you're either on a train or you're either on a plane and you don't know where the Qibla is, what should you do? The answer is you try and look for the Qibla. You try and face the Qibla or where Mecca is, for example. If you don't know where it is, then you pray ala hasabi halik. Because out of all of the conditions of the prayer, the condition that the Sharia places most emphasis in is dukhulul waqt, is the time of the prayer. So for example, if the time of the prayer is about to leave and you're in a situation where you cannot find water, for example, you pray, you make tayammum. You make tayammum. If, for example, you're basically, say, you're driving and you pull up and you can't find water, for example, there's no water near you, you pray ala hasabi halik. You always pray according to your situation. Even if you don't have wudu, you make tayammum and then you pray. طيب, you make tayammum and then you pray. نعم. الشرط العاشر. ما في شرط. الركن الأول عفوا. نعم.
أحسن الله إليك.
وأركان الصلاة. نعم.
وأركان الصلاة 14: القيام مع القدرة وتكبيرة الإحرام وقراءة الفاتحة والركوع والرفع من والسجود على الأعضاء السبع والاعتدال من والجلوس بين السجدتين والجلسة بين السجدتين والطمأنينة في جميع الأركان والترتيب والتشهد الأخير والجلوس له والصلاة على النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم والتسليمتان.
طيب. أركان الصلاة. Arkan is the plural of rukun, and rukun means pillar. And the scholars of usul rahimahumullah ta'ala, they said that the rukun huwa ma dakhala fi mahiyat al-shay' or mahiyat al-ibadah. A rukun is anything that enters into anything that is part of the essence of the worship, part of the essence of the ibadah. And they say huwa ma lazima min adamihi al-adam ولم يلزم من وجوده وجود ولا عدم لذاته. Basically, they say that the existence of the rukun, the non-existence or the disappearance of a rukun constitutes or necessitates the non-existence of the thing that it is a rukun for, or pillar for. So, for example, if a pillar is missing from a building, will there be a building? No, the building will collapse. That's why Islam is based upon 5 pillars. Okay? So the arkanul salah consists of these pillars. If one pillar is missing, this basically necessitates that the salah is also missing or non-existent. However, just because a pillar exists doesn't mean that the salah or the ibadah is correct. All of the rest of the pillars have to be basically present. طيب. So the arkan of the salah, he says, are 14. 14 القيام مع القدرة, to be the standing or standing يعني مع القدرة, if the person is capable of standing. وتكبيرة الإحرام, and the takbirah or the beginning takbirah, the first takbirah, the one the scholars they call it takbiratul ihram, because ihram because everything that was allowed for you previously has now has become impermissible or haram for you after you basically enter the salah. Also qira'atul fatiha, the recitation of surah al-fatiha, is a rukn min arkan as-salah. So whoever does not recite Surah Al-Fatiha, their salah is not accepted. Al-ruku', also making ruku' or bowing down. Al-raf'u minhu, يعني getting up from the ruku', was-sujudu ala al-a'dha' as-sab'a, and making sujood upon the 7 a'dha', the 7 limbs, or 7 the 7 limbs. وَالْاِعْتِدَالُ مِنْهُ. So what are these 7 limbs? The scholars rahimahumullah ta'ala, نعم, تفضل. Okay, that's 6. I counted 6. Okay, so your forehead, okay, your nose, your 2 hands, and your 2 knees, and your 2 feet. Naam, your 2 feet, and your 2 knees, and your 2 hands, and your face. Okay, so the nose is part of the face. So these are the 7 a'dha' that are obligatory upon you to place on the ground when you're making sujood. Is that clear, ikhwan? طيب.
Two questions. You said about Fatiha has to be read, yeah?
Naam.
If you're following, do you still read it? Because I was forgetting.
Naam, you still read it, naam. Yeah, even if you're following, you still read Surah Al-Fatiha. Because the Prophet ﷺ, he told us that whoever does not recite Surah Al-Fatiha, فَصَلَاتُهُ خِدَاج, his prayer is null, or is invalid, his